and welcome to Scene on 7. I'm Patricia Mitchell and I'll be here with you as we strut our stuff through an hour that is bound to amuse, entertain and inform everyone, as yet again the WMtv crews have been out in the region, weighed down with equipment and technical gizmos, covering the stories that are of interest to you in the Windsor and Middlesex area. And here is a taste of what is coming your way. Mark Langton and a very brave crew spend a night ghost busting in Staines. The Met show us how we can protect thousands of pounds worth of equipment by using our postcode. Aswad go all macho with their new single Warriors. And Steve Hyland's been asking the people of Maidenhead if they would kiss and tell. And in the studio we'll be talking to a couple of ghost specialists. We'll be learning about Slough's One World Festival and a guide to the new national and international telephone code changes, as well as the Cable Corporation competition where you could win free cable television for a whole year. Now, by way of prelude to Halloween, or All Hallows Eve, that's to say the day before All Saints' Day, when it is said that spirits from the other side wander the earth, Mark Langton thought it would be a good idea to do a report on ghosts. Well, after many sleepless nights, cameras mysteriously breaking down with seemingly nothing wrong with them, and things generally getting a bit spooky around here, Mark is now able to report on what has become a WMtv legend, namely Ghost File. This was to be a series of reports, but due to numerous mysterious gremlins, this will be both the first and the last in the series. And on behalf of the producer, I'd like to say that this report is controversial in nature. All the events are genuine, and viewers are invited to draw their own conclusion. So take a look and judge for yourself.
It's just another quiet Sunday evening in Staines. Unless you're staying here. At the Anne Boleyn Hotel, things are not what they seem.
As recent as May this year, one former employee reported seeing the apparition of a woman wandering through the corridors of the hotel, with her feet 4 inches or so below the floor line. But even more bizarre are the alleged unseen manifestations that occupy the attic floor of this 17th century building. In particular, room 305. Many of the staff are reluctant to enter the rooms. In fact, some just simply refuse. So, we went along to find out what's really going on.
Well, put it like this, I wouldn't go up there on my own. Definitely no way. It's affected a few of us, but some people in the hotel don't mind it. There's a cold chill in the air, especially 304, where the stairs are. It's just a horrible feeling that someone's watching you. I discovered that when I first came here. As receptionist, I have to know which rooms are what, and so I could sell them, you know. You have to know your product that you sell. And I discovered the stairway to the attic. It's lovely rooms, very comfortable, the original beams, but there's just something really strange about the rooms.
I do a lot of work up there now and then, and it seems to be something that keeps disturbing me now and then, which I take to be quite normal, such as lights being switched on and after I switch them off, and seems like someone is in there with me now and then, you know. I put it down to someone else, but it happens so often that on a hot summer's day, for no reason, the hair stands on the back of my neck. But I put it down to a hangover.
So you're not really a believer in ghosts? Or the supernatural?
Well, not really, but there's some things up there I can't explain, so I just carry on working. Then suddenly it happens, you know, again. Then I decide to just go away from there for a few minutes and go back again. It keeps happening all the time, yeah. I've had a power blackout here.
Oh yeah, that's sure it is.
Electricity cut, we couldn't find the fault. And things like that.
Alan, you're the Deputy General Manager of the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
How long have you been here?
I've been here just 3 months.
And in those 3 months, have you seen anything or heard anything strange?
Not to my knowledge, no.
No.
But I've heard a lot of people talk about.
You've heard the rumours, but you
I've
haven't
heard
seen
the
anything
rumours.
for yourself?
No, I haven't even been up in the room, actually.
You haven't been up in the room?
No.
Is that out of...
Well,
out of choice,
one
or?
of the chambermaids said to me that she wouldn't go in and clean the room. So I asked her to take me up to see the room, and she wouldn't even take me in. So I've just been busy, so that's why I haven't had a chance to go up there to see.
And that's your excuse?
That's my excuse, yeah.
In a bid to find out more, and much to the crew's delight, I suggested that we find ourselves a couple of ghost experts and spend the night there.
Here we go, Ron.
Right, thank you, Ron.
Right, what exactly is the camera for in the corner?
Well, the idea is to scan this area because this particular room is credited as being haunted by some form of entity. And I don't know the full history myself, but apparently there is a ghost in here. Mm-hmm. And luckily we shall either see or hear something during the course of the evening. And if we're very lucky, we may get something on that camera.
So it might actually
for
pick
the
up on the
image.
camera?
Here's one of the things we've got here is this gadget, which is a minimum-maximum thermometer, which works with a remote sensor. Now that's rather useful. Of course, you can put that up. Very clear reading dial to it. You can put this sensor unit anywhere from the ceiling where it's convenient, and you can pick up temperatures on this thing, you see. Well, of course, you get variations. Doing a haunting, a typical haunting, you can get a drop as much as 6 degrees in temperature in a localised spot. It can be in a room, in a building, in any particular part of the
Cold
area.
spots?
Cold spots, that's right. And it can suddenly drop. And this can occur in the area where there's activity, where, for instance, you may get a figure appearing, or you may get something that's not seen, and you'll suddenly find this temperature. And we've had temperatures where you can walk into a circle, for instance, which can be about 4 foot in diameter, and you can walk into this circle and you can walk out of it, and it's freezing. It's like walking into a refrigerator, and you can walk into the thing and then out into a normal temperature.
When one is asked to participate in an investigation in a haunted house, one of the routine procedures is to take temperatures in various parts of the establishment concerned at regular intervals. And the reason for that is that sometimes it is said that when a ghost is about to appear, that something known as a cold spot can be encountered. And the theory behind that, which is yet to be really conclusively established, is the fact that if a spirit or ghost, call it what you like, wishes to manifest itself in some way, to give itself body, as it were, it has to withdraw heat from the atmosphere to make itself visible, and in taking heat unto itself, it's leaving a cold spot behind it.
As I came up the stairs, and as I came up to this level, I could feel the oxygen going. Not because it was hot, but there's a stifleness up here. It's almost like there's an oppression, a pressure about the whole of this area. There's a terrible sadness that prevails. It isn't downstairs. The energy is very good downstairs in the bars, but it's only on this floor. I feel a little bit like crying within myself. There's been sadness, unhappiness only in this area. Somebody has been confined. Somebody has been restricted, even tortured. Maybe somebody has had a torturing of the mind who has been here, and there's almost a suicidal element about the whole place. As I'm standing here, I literally can feel my body and my back. It's almost as if I'm starting to ache at the back. It's having that sort of an effect on me. There's been so much unhappiness that's been within this place. The energy by the door is actually worse in this area. As I'm coming more into this area, into the centre of the room, it's actually very slightly better.
Our two experts are expecting to find the most activity in room 305. But in fact, the strongest disturbance appeared here, in an area by the far wall of the adjacent room. Time now is approximately 11:20 p.m.
Gosh, yes, that's definitely positive. Oh gosh, yes.
Oh.
That's the usual rhythm here. Right there. Yeah.
Again, I've got fear. Ooh, very, very cold. Burning. My hands are burning. Energy. It's almost as if the whole... Oh my goodness. Completely electrified. My hands are literally burning. Electricity. Very, very odd. You see, as I'm coming to this part again, it's just this area, and as I'm coming to this part again, I can feel terrible electricity. I couldn't actually stand in this part for too long because it would make me feel sick. Because it's just electrified. Again, we're getting heat, cold, heat, cold, heat, cold. A lot of things have happened in these two rooms. The energy is still here. They're very charged. Very charged with emotions. Both the rooms are.
Yes, it certainly is. There we go again, you see. I'm just holding the reaction immediately right there.
So there is something in that corner?
Yes, it does seem to be. I can feel a coolness around here myself. And I think I can feel a slight tingling as well, a slight tingling sensation. Whatever it is, there is something around this area, yes.
I told you that a lot of the staff in the hotel won't actually venture into rooms 304 and 305. Now you've been into the rooms yourself, you've had a look round. Is it all just their imagination, or is there something actually going on in those rooms?
It's definitely not their imagination. The rooms are very differently charged. The room behind me to the right is very depressive, very heavy, very lethargic. I felt as if I wanted to cry in there. And that has been built up from the past, from what has happened there. The other room is absolutely completely different. It is very charged, very energised, very electric. It's a sort of room that you might find it difficult to sleep in. So it's definitely not their imagination. There are definitely energies that are at work very strongly in both the rooms. Yes.
On that corner over there was actually a paranormal influence, as we detected.
So was that a genuine
That was a genuine influence, yes.
Is there anything else that could have caused it? Like anything, say, behind the wall, any electrical
I don't
wires
think
or...
so, no, because in that instance, I believe this is the end part of the building, and I don't think you had any electrical wires going behind that wall anywhere. And in any case, where that moved around, if you remember, we had the influence moving around the room at various levels, and also the dowsing rods picked it up. It was actually forming a circle approximately 4 to 5 feet in diameter, which extended from the mirror on that wall and came out as far as here, where we're sitting now. And that was a typical paranormal influence.
So, there you go. Unfortunately, no apparitions, but we did get some pretty strange readings, which we can't explain. Is it haunted? It's up to you.
Don't worry, we aren't running a competition this week where you could win your very own ghost, but we do have in the studio with us the two ghost experts, Patricia Tanner and Ron Russell. Welcome to the studio, Patricia and Ron. Very nice of you to come in. Gosh, I mean, I would find the whole thing sort of quite scary, I must admit. But tell me, do you ever sense sometimes that you might be taking things with you when you go?
Well, no, one does take precautions against this. It's rare that one comes up against anything really evil. Most ghosts are pretty normal, you know,
Right.
in activity, and there is, of course, the question that not all ghosts are live entities. I mean, some of these may be what are termed recordings, that is, something impregnated on the building itself, where you get something that repeats itself continually.
So like an impression's been made
impression,
on the
that's
atmosphere
right,
or
yes.
something. Right. But what good does it do to know that there is a ghost? I mean, if I thought that there was something in my home, for example, which I must admit I do think there is, but what good does it do me to have it confirmed or not? What can I do about it?
Well, I think that the point is, apart from intrinsic curiosity, of course, that this is something scientific that does need to be evaluated. It leads to other questions. It leads, should we say, into the question of continuation of life after death, for instance, and it does.
But on a day-to-day level, what good does it do me? If I actually have a ghost, I think, or a spirit, or some impression on the atmosphere, what good does it do for me to know about it? I mean, one wonders about life after death anyway. I'm just wondering about a specific ghost. What would...
I think possibly more to relieve oneself of any anxiety.
Right. But okay, so let's say we've discovered that there is a ghost in our own home or somewhere that we frequent. Patricia, for example, you've got one. What do you then do if you want to get rid of it?
You could often just talk to them. Usually, if they're actually living with you, if you've got some sort of entity, they're usually, I would say, pretty harmless.
Yeah.
Sometimes they can even be helpful. There was one ghost, one entity, discarnate spirit, that woke a family up. It lived with them for a long time when there was a fire in the house.
Oh, right.
It went mad and they all managed to get out. There aren't as many discarnate spirits as there were on the earth 400 or 500 years ago. The earth was teeming with them. The spirit has actually got rid of most of them, or a lot of them. Very often when some spirit will leave the earth, a person will leave the earth body, they get a bit confused and they don't want to go home to the next world straight away, and they will stay around for a little while, but always somebody will come who will help them and take them back.
Go to where they're supposed to be going.
Yes.
Well, okay, what about now, this might sound like a bit of a, this is a true story, I promise you.
Yes.
I believe that there is some kind of spirit in my flat. It leaves me alone completely, but when I have a friend, this spirit pulls her hair, and the number of times she goes, it's back again, it's back again. Now, why would a spirit leave me alone, and yet obviously Alice does something that bugs this spirit. You
They
know?
might not like the your friend's energy, or they might not like something about your friend, or they might just be trying to attract the fact that they're there. They might have known them in the past in some way. There might be some sort of connection. But very often you will find that they will touch, I mean, it happens to me a lot, touch the hair, touch the body, touch the shoulders, touch the... And it's just an indication that they're there.
Yeah.
Very simple.
I think that's why I've got 2 cats, because I can think if there's sort of something brushing by my legs or whatever, I think, oh, it's the cat.
Cats have
the fact that the cats are out, it's got nothing to do with it.
Cats do have the third eye. Cats do see spirit.
Yes, I must admit, there's times when they sit there and they're looking at something and I think, oh, I don't know what they're looking at, I don't want to know. What would you suggest people do if they feel that there is something that they would like to find out more about, if they feel that they've got something in their homes or some, you know, the place that they work? What should they do? What would be their first steps?
Well, I think one of the first things is to contact someone reliable, such as the Society for Psychical Research, and they'll send one of their investigators round to have a look and to talk with the people concerned. And then if there's anything there which does merit consideration, they will come round, if necessary, with equipment, and they will check the whole thing out.
Right, so there is places that they can
yes,
go to,
definitely.
and that would be in the telephone book,
Oh
presumably.
yes, certainly.
Right. And one last question. Do you think that people are becoming more psychic? I'm hearing lots and lots of things about people sort of saying, oh yes, I can sense things like that, in a way that people weren't talking about when I was younger anyway.
Yes. From 1980, there's been a spiritual upsurgence upon the earth. The year was 1980, and it's spread, and it's spreading still. It's actually going out from England, not from any other country. It will emanate from here and go forward. We're entering another age at the end of this decade, and it will be a spiritual age.
Right.
It will just be naturally there. People, all the people on the earth are actually quite old spiritually. There aren't any young spirits on the earth because they couldn't cope with the mess that the earth is in. And so they are more evolved, and when you are more evolved, you are basically more spiritually open.
So we can handle it anyway.
We can handle it,
Great.
yes.
Thanks very much for coming in, Ron and Patricia. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, if you'd like to scare yourself witless, obviously the Anne Boleyn Hotel in Staines would be pleased to take your booking. But if you want to make a weekend of it, Redworth Hall in Durham is offering a haunted hotel break between Christmas and New Year. The hotel claims to be the most ghost-ridden in the UK, and guests can sleep in one of the hotel's 10 most haunted bedrooms. The English Tourist Board rate the hotel at 5 crowns and highly commend it, but they won't rate the type of ghost you might expect. Now, moving on to unresolved mysteries of a different kind, it's time for Police File. And if you have any piece of computer equipment or anything that's on the list of things most wanted by a would-be thief, this next item might help you either protect your valuables or at the very least help you retrieve them if they do go walkabout.
The theft of computers is a growing problem in the whole region. 6% of burglary in business premises relates to computers, but that is millions of pounds worth. One of the Metropolitan Police burglary squads has recently had a major breakthrough in tackling the problem. In this room alone is £200,000 worth of computer equipment which has been recovered. To find out more, I've come to speak to PC Rob Viney, whose specific job is to track down burglars. Rob, we had a brief glimpse of a stack of computer equipment in the store, and more is out here on display. Where on earth did it all come from?
The property itself was recovered as a result of 5 raids that were conducted by officers from this station in the Hounslow, Streatham and Tooting areas of London, resulting in 4 arrests from them raids.
So how much property was recovered altogether?
We believe we have in excess of £500,000 worth of equipment in various forms, totalling over 400 individual items.
Right, so what sort of equipment was it?
We have the keyboards, monitors, the PCs or the base units, fax machines, colour copiers, a whole range of, and mobile phones, of course, a whole range of computer equipment.
Have you found out where any of it came from?
Yes, we have. To date, we've identified 35 separate victims of burglary. And obviously the people have been contacted and their equipment have been restored to them.
So this equipment is all left over. What will happen to this?
Well, inquiries are still continuing, obviously, into the properties where it came from. That will continue, hopefully end in a display of some sort. From there, no decision has been made yet as to where the property will go.
Now we know the extent of the problem, what can be done about it? Martin Woodley is a Metropolitan Police Crime Prevention Officer and an expert in countering computer crime. Crime prevention measures can be taken whether your computer is at work or in your own home. Martin, property marking is something that police have been encouraging for as long as I can remember. What are the advantages of marking computers?
Well, there are two main reasons for marking computers. One is that they're less likely to be attractive to the burglar. Secondly, if they do come into police possession for whatever reason, we can actually trace them to the original loser.
Right, so what would be the easiest way to mark them?
The easiest way is by use of an ultraviolet pen, quite simple. Marking your postcode with the number of house or your business name next to the side of it. It's like putting a fingerprint of your house onto the equipment that you're marking. Each police station has got an ultraviolet light in the charge room. I've already marked this with the postcode of my office, which is SW156SH, and the police station at Putney is 215. And as you can see, if I bring the ultraviolet lamp down, it quite clearly shows that that's the postcode and the number of the police station, thus making it far easier for us to return the property. There's quite a few things coming out onto the market now, one of them being the etching method.
Can you show me that one as well?
Well, the etching, again, this is the stencil made up, again with my postcode and who the machine belongs to, if it was mine. And then we've got various paste, aluminium, glass, but in this particular case, I'd use the plastic paste, just smear that over there, and when it's dry, you lift off, and it would leave the postcode, again, quite clearly seen and very difficult to remove.
And exactly what details should people put onto their property?
Well, it's the postcode, which we all use for everyday writing of letters, and then for the private person, putting their house number on, or the business, just putting their business or initials of their business, so it's more identifiable. As I say, it's like putting a fingerprint onto the equipment, showing exactly where it's come from.
Right, I see you have a range of stickers on the table here. When should they be used?
Well, again, this is a backup to the marking system. Obviously, if you don't tell the burglar that it's marked, he still might take it and discard it. If it's shown as being marked, you can put these little stickers actually on the equipment itself, these small ones here. If you've got windows or out-facing doors onto the street, put those on to show that you've actually taken some action. And again, to underline our Operation Bumblebee, which the Metropolitan Police are running, a nice big sticker to show that you have actually taken police advice and marked your property.
What could anyone have done to make the job easier for you?
Well, the ideal scenario from our point of view is property marking, up to the normal way with the postcode and the person's initials, or for schools, colleges or business establishments, even the name of the establishment in the UV pens or any other markings, etching, scratching, anything will do.
One of the biggest problems is our own complacency. If you really want to prevent the theft of your computer, mark it today. If you're in business and you have lost computer equipment in a theft or burglary, then why not come along to our Computer Roadshow? This display of recovered computer equipment will take place on Friday the 14th of October. It is supported by Yellow Pages and will include all of this equipment. Our thanks also goes to Wandsworth Borough Council, who have allowed the event to take place at Sutherland Grove School, which is in Sutherland Grove, Wandsworth, and it will be open from 10 AM to 4 PM. Now please take our advice and mark your property to prevent it ending up like this.
And if you are interested in going along to the roadshow, remember the address is Sutherland Grove School. That's Sutherland Grove, Wandsworth. And it's going to be there on the Friday, the 14th of October, 10 till 4 PM. Now, a warning has been issued from the Borough of Spelthorne regarding bogus council workmen calling up properties with false identity cards. As always, it's the elderly that are particularly susceptible to such con men. Please always ask callers for official identification, and if you are at all unsure, please contact council offices on 01784 446382 or 01784 451 499. Alternatively, you can call the police. Now it's time to take a break, but coming up in part 2, we'll be taking a look at the new Aswad single, talking to the people of Maidenhead about their inclination towards kiss and tell revelations. We'll be giving you the rundown on the new national and international telephone codes, and of course, there's the Cable Corporation competition. So see you after the break.
HQ for the best in alternative modern fashion. HQ for the best in travelling and camping equipment. HQ for the best in workwear. HQ for the best quality, the best price, and a superb friendly service. HQ is in Slough, Maidenhead and Reading. HQ, you'll find what you want.
Here are some important points you need to know about the Sweet Shop. The Sweet Shop offers unbeatable style, quality and a range of furniture to suit every taste. A comprehensive home furnishing service, from delightful wallpapers to breathtaking fabrics. All this with superb value and the option of deferred payment or interest-free credit, and as you'd expect, free delivery at your convenience. The Sweet Shop can be found at the Ideal Home Superstore, just off Junction 7 of the M4.
Welcome back to Scene on 7. Now, you should have already received information about Phone Day concerning the new code changes, and you might have thought, well, I don't have to worry about that yet as it doesn't take effect until 1995. But in fact, the new codes are operational now, and here to tell us about them is Sam Lander of the Cable Corporation. Welcome, Sam. Now, I gather that actually everyone has had information about the new national codes, but it might not have been absolutely clear. Perhaps you could fill us in on the need for why we actually need to have new codes.
Yeah, I think some people get confused with it actually. Basically, the whole of the UK are running out of numbers due to basically a lot of the franchises starting up. So what we started to do with the whole of the UK is add an extra 1 into all the STD codes.
Now, a lot of people will be thinking, especially if they're in contact with sort of London numbers a lot, well, we've just had the 071 and the 081. Why was London changed and now everybody's changing as well?
Well, 3 or 4 years ago, London was very short of codes and they couldn't actually wait till the national code change. So we added the 071 and the 081 then. 3 years later, we decided to add the extra 1.
Right, because, I mean, I know so many people that have got fax machines and they need computer lines, and it's all those sorts of things that are draining the system, is it?
That's right, yeah.
Right. Now, there's also going to be, and we might as well talk about it while we're on the subject, we're actually going to be changing the international codes as well. What's that changing to?
Well, the rest of Europe at the moment are actually running as 00. Great Britain been running with 010. So basically we're changing it to 00 at the same time to run in line with the rest of Europe.
But that's got nothing to do with the need for the extra 1. It's just it's all being changed, you might as well do that and get us in line with Europe. Right. Okay, now I also understand that 5 cities are going to be completely changed.
Yeah, there's 5 cities. There's Sheffield, Bristol, Leicester, Leeds, Nottingham.
Right.
And they're very short of codes anyway, so they've actually been given 5 new codes, and they'll start at the same time.
Right, so it's all being sort of streamlined in at the same time.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Now, what will this mean people having to do on the actual date that it comes online, which I believe is April of next year?
That's right, April the 16th.
Yeah.
We've actually been doing a thing called parallel running since August the 1st, so people could dial, say if they were dialing London on 071, they could dial 0171 as well. So we've got an 8-month period where people can dial both sets of numbers. This will give them time to reconfigure, say, their burglar alarms. If they dial a number for security or whatever, they can reconfigure that with the extra 1.
So people can actually be doing that now. They can actually be using the extra 1 now. They can reprogram their alarms. They can reprogram everything to incorporate
right.
the extra 1 now.
Yeah. Also PBXs, a lot of switchboards obviously I think of speed call and things like that. They would have to have the extra 1 in them. Modems, fax machines.
Everything that's got...
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, and it also presumably gives people a chance to change other things like stationery and that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah, so corporate letterheads and call cards and even sign writing on vans and things like that.
Right. Now, presumably this is true also of not just BT lines. It's true of all sort of telephone lines.
Yeah, the whole of the UK are doing it. So BT, Mercury, Energist, the Cable Corporation, and it's all been done so that everyone does it at the same time.
Right, so it doesn't matter whether you're on Mercury or whether you're on BT or whether you're using Cable Corporation lines, it's all going to be...
Yeah, it will definitely affect everybody. Right,
great. Well, thanks ever so much for coming in and explaining that to us. I hope everybody's feeling a little bit clearer about that now. Thanks, Sam.
Thanks.
You might also like to know that the Cable Corporation will be changing the channel lineup in the early hours of November the 1st. This will allow space for 3 new channels, Channel 1, Identity TV and VH1. Channel 1 will be on Channel 1, and it makes a lot of sense, but this means that BBC 1, BBC 2, ITV and Channel 4 will move to channels 11, 12, 13 and 14 respectively. To make room for the new channels, Euronews, Super Channel and TVE will no longer be aired. Prices won't change and you will still be able to watch and record all the channels you could previously see. If you have any queries, please contact customer services on 0753 810 707. That's 0753 810 707. Now, did you know that the British band Aswad, who had a recent hit with the single Shine, are the only British band to have worked with all 3 of the original Wailers? Aswad are now at the end of their UK tour before going off to Japan, so in case you couldn't get to see them live, here for you is a reggae treat in the form of Aswad's new single and video, Warriors.
Would you mind saying that again? Wheel and come again. Warriors in a place. Jump up with the rhythm. Hear me now. Shitty da ba do da da. Warriors fighting for freedom. Warriors, say
struggle goes on. Warriors!
We wish Aswad, who hail from West London, much success with their new single and tour of Japan. More local success now in the shape of Slough's acceptance into the National Champion Coaching Training Programme. It's quite a mouthful. The aim of the scheme is to promote quality-assured youth sport coaching for performance-motivated children. Now, I think that's a politically correct way of saying they want them to win. The target group for this scheme are youngsters within the age ranges of 11 to 14 years. Local schools will be asked to nominate individuals. If you'd like more information, please call Sharon Hall on 0753 875575, or you could actually try 01753 875575 if you're using the new code number. Now I would like to introduce our final guest of the programme, Julie Watts, one of the organisers of the One World Festival in Slough. Thanks very much for coming in, Julie. Now tell us a little bit about the One World Festival in Slough.
Well, it's a multicultural organisation, and we aim to bring all the cultures that are based in Slough together for 2 weeks, so everyone can join in, see the different cultures, experience different foods, debates, quizzes. They can join in and do whatever they like.
Now, I had a list through from you of all the things that you're doing, and it really is, it's a bumper-packed 2 weeks. I was quite amazed. There's things like, you've actually got a theme this year.
Yeah, and it's called People on the Move.
And so what made you come up with that idea?
Well, we were given the theme by the United Nations. They give us a theme each year, and then everybody brings themselves together and decides what they're going to do as people on the move. It's as if, say, somebody moved house.
Right.
You've moved,
Yeah.
or from one country to another, and they can relate their experiences that way.
Right, because you've got all sorts of different things, but tell us particularly about the opening ceremony.
Well, it starts at 1:30 on the 15th.
15th of October?
Yes, with the Mayor.
Right.
And we've got quite a lot of things going on. We've got Brit-Law majorettes, we've got a Chinese dragon, we've got choirs, dancers, Indian dancers, steel bands, and then it starts again at 7 o'clock at the MGM Theatre, and we have 14 acts over 4 hours.
Yes, I noticed the list. It was quite spectacular.
It is.
Now, tell me, where's the opening ceremony actually going to be held?
In the town square.
Right.
In the High Street.
So if people just happen to be meandering through
Yes,
the,
we'll
through
be
the
there.
square there and they don't know what's going on, they'll have to remember what they've heard today, and that's actually what it's made of. Right. Now, also, I gather that on the opening evening, your host is going to be Terry Adlam.
Yes.
Famed in WMtv land.
I believe so.
Yes, he's on here quite a lot, our Terry. Now, you've got lots and lots and lots of things, but one thing that actually caught my eye, well, a couple of things that caught my eye. One was that you've actually got one thing called Leaving Home, the Refugee Experience, which I thought looked very, very interesting indeed.
Yes, it should be a very interesting debate. Then people
What will
can
that
give their
actually
experience.
involve?
Well, hopefully it'll be people giving their experiences of what happens to them or what has happened to their ancestors if they've come from somewhere and settled here, and how it's affected them and their lives and families.
Yes, I mean it's particularly relevant, I suppose, at the moment. You know, as well, the last couple of years with so much of the population in Europe being literally on the move.
Yes.
Let alone Africa, all over the world. But I mean, I think a few years ago we sort of could turn a blind eye to it, but not of late.
No, there's a lot of movement through Europe as well as through Great Britain.
Yeah. Now, one other thing that I noticed that you've actually got coming up is on Monday the 17th, you've got a forum called Changing Your Career in a Fast-Changing World. So you're not just limiting it to the people of the world in terms of nationality, you're actually doing it in terms of mixed experiences and mixed age groups and everything else.
Yes, from children right up into, well, older people than myself.
Yeah.
And hopefully that everybody will enjoy what we're doing over the 2 weeks, and then next year we hope to be even bigger than we are this year.
Right, and as you said, there's going to be all sorts of different things, like even food tasting,
Yes.
West Indian food evening. That sounds wonderful.
It does. I'm looking forward to that one myself.
So it's going to be a bumper-packed 2 weeks.
Yes, and for the first week we're having a shop donated to us by the Observatory, and we're going to be there for a week, and then in Queensmere for the second week, and we're going to have quite a lot of other things going on in the two places.
And I gather also that the actual concern is run by volunteers.
We're all voluntary.
This is all done out of the kindness of your heart.
Yes, yeah, we're all voluntary.
Great.
I'm loving every moment of it.
Right, so now let's just get this straight. It's actually running for 2 weeks,
Yes,
and the
from the
dates are
15th of October to the 29th of October.
and all throughout Slough.
Yes. from Sydenham right through to Langley, everywhere in Slough.
That's great. Thanks ever so much for coming on and
That's fine.
telling us about that. And we wish you much success. And I'm sure you have lots of people attending.
We hope so. Thank you.
Thanks, Julie. WMtv will be covering the One World Festival, but if you'd like to know more, you've got to watch the moving magazine where details will be listed. And now it's your chance to win free cable television for a whole year. Yes, it's the Cable Corporation competition. The answer to last week's question, which cable channel shows Blake 7 on Saturday at 6 p.m, is of course UK Gold. And this week's winner is Mr. Plenty of Crown Meadow, Colnbrook. I'm going to say that again, Colnbrook as opposed to Colinbrook. And this week's question is, on which cable channel can you see Moonlighting starring Bruce Willis? On which cable channel can you see Moonlighting starring Bruce Willis? Is it A, UK Gold, B, UK Living, or C, the Family Channel? Now you can call 0891 299 800, that's 0891 299 800. If you know the answer. Your calls will cost no more than 39 pence per minute, cheap rate, and 49 pence per minute at all other times. In total, your call should cost no more than 75 pence, and all money raised on the 0891 number is going to the East Berkshire Children's Appeal. Now, the winner of last week's wine competition is Aldi de Benito, and she's of Hollyport. We'll be in touch regarding your prize. The correct answer is, if wine is purple, that means it's young. The answer to the firework competition is the firework Fiesta Ferry leaves from the Old Trout. The list of winners will be displayed on the moving magazine. If you are in the Egham area, you might like to know about a fundraising dance for Cystic Fibrosis Research Trust on the 8th of October from 8 p.m. till midnight at Egham Football Club. Tickets are £7.50 for adults with concessions for students, OAPs and the under-16s. If you're interested, please contact Mary Willig on 0784 251114. That's 0784 251114. We may all love to hear the latest revelations from Buckingham Palace or the bedroom secrets of the rich and famous, but would we actually do the dirty ourselves? To find out, Steve Hyland went with microphone in hand onto the streets of Maidenhead to see who he could trust not to tell on him.
Steve Hyland.
Say it with flowers. Unfortunately today, lots of people are actually saying it in the newspaper and they're getting paid for it. What do you think about kiss and tell? Ronald Ferguson currently in the paper because he's been talking about Fergie to the press. She's not very happy about that. We asked the people of Maidenhead exactly what they felt about kiss and tell.
Oh, I think it's dreadful.
Would you do it?
Well, I might do it, but I think the money should go to charity.
So the actual ethics of the story going out are one thing, but the money's...
Take the money, but give it to charity.
I think they must think more of money than they do of their integrity. Next question.
So you feel really that it shouldn't happen really in the press?
I think if people wish to do something like that, they're welcome to carry on. But I certainly wouldn't want to, and I don't think very much of people that indulge in that.
I don't know, it depends who it is really. I think a lot of the celebrities and things that kiss and tell, they've got enough money anyway, so why should they? But,
and would you do it?
If I was a celebrity, I'd think about it.
But say Joe Bloggs, the local newspaper, turned out and said, listen, we're going to give you £1 million for all the most intimate of secrets.
Oh yes, definitely.
£500?
No, they'd probably have to make it more worth my while. A bit more than that.
But quite reasonable sort of figures then?
No, a bit more, quite a bit more than that.
So I'd be looking at a fairly substantial sum then?
Fairly substantial.
But you would do it?
Yeah.
Now, Ronald Ferguson in a press at the moment, he's giving all the dirt on Fergie.
I think that's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she's the best member of the royal family, the honestest and the hard-working. She's took nothing from the royals, has she? She's made her own millions selling these... Go on, help.
Budgie, the helicopter.
Budgie, Heli. What has Di ever done?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing but scrounge, and they're given her a medal for it.
Would you tell a story about a loved one for money?
No, and I wouldn't buy the papers for them either.
Has that stopped you buying papers now in the past?
I've changed my papers for various things, but I don't say necessarily that, but I don't read it.
Do you think the press has gone down a long way because of this sort of sensational press?
I do.
So what do you think we should do about it? Anything?
Well, I think one should report the truth, obviously, and bring news, but I don't believe that some of the things that are treated as news are really very newsworthy. They should concentrate on things that are more meaningful.
Now, what we're talking about is kiss and tell press. I mean, what do you think about that?
Ooh.
And would you do it?
Yeah.
Really, for money?
100%, yeah. A couple of £100 I'd kiss and tell anyone.
Really? You got no bones about that whatsoever?
Even you. No, I'm just...
Not in public, no, please.
I guess that they shouldn't do it. You know, actually they shouldn't be doing it. They shouldn't be kissing someone they shouldn't be kissing.
If you my problems, that's for sure, I'd do it.
Would you really?
Yeah.
Definitely. Anything.
For money?
Of course.
Just...
No morals or values whatsoever.
Ah, you're pulling my leg now, aren't you? So you see nothing wrong with it at all?
No way.
So that's all right then?
Yeah.
But say you open up the press and you found your life story laid across the tabloid press. How would you feel about that?
Well, then I'd sue them for more money.
A counter story.
Yeah. You bet.
If I came along and said, there's £1 million, tell us about or everything about your husband or a close relation.
No, I wouldn't tell.
No amount of money would make you change your mind?
No.
People's private lives are private, whoever they are, and it's of no interest to anybody else what other people do, unless it affects somebody else.
The kiss and tell stories, I think it's full of bleep, bleep, bleep.
Really?
So, yes,
Yeah.
no, I think people should be left alone.
Could you be bought, though, do you think? Could I offer you enough money to tell the most intimate of secrets about yourself?
I don't know, it depends on the situation, really.
So even though you disagree with it...
Yeah, it depends what sort of situation, though. I mean, if somebody's snogging somebody else somewhere along down the line and it's perhaps as a friend of mine, then no, I wouldn't tell. But if it's somebody I don't really know or have to care about, then perhaps, maybe, I don't know. Depends on how much money. If you can offer me £1 million, then yes, fine, I will most definitely do that.
People have got a right to know about different things, what are going on in other people's life, I suppose, especially if they're in politics, etc., because we put them into power, and hopefully they've got nothing at the back of them, so like the vicar from Count Durham, who's a gay, shall we say, which to me, if they're going to come out with it, they may as well come out in front. If they've got something to hide, and they're in public life, they should say, look, this is what I've done. As long as it's up front with it, there's no problem. But if they're going to hide it, people are going to take umbrage, shall we say, and blackmail them or whatever over press.
I never craved for money, so I wouldn't
So it wouldn't really bother you at all,
tell you
though?
everything for money.
Oh, well,
no.
some unlucky day then again, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right,
You wouldn't
listen.
get it out of me.
Look how rich I am.
For 5p, I'll tell you everything.
How much?
So is it down to a price then you would actually give?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So what sort of money would we be talking about? 50 quid?
500.
£500. And how much would you tell?
How much do you want to know?
Oh, no, I think people should keep their opinions to themselves.
Could you be bought, do you think, for any particular price?
No.
No matter how much I
nothing to
offered
do with
you?
my private life, no.
I
Not me.
couldn't buy that from you.
No.
£1 million?
No.
I have
I've got nothing
£1
worth
million
telling
pounds.
anyway.
No.
No, it's not worth reading.
I mean, would you sell your private, personal story for any amount of money?
Possibly, depends on the story.
But how about an intimate one that was of someone that you still cared and loved about? I mean, for instance, Fergie's father's in the press at the moment.
No way, not at all.
Just walk away from it?
I would, yes, absolutely. Why not, wouldn't you?
I couldn't, no, I wouldn't do it. I don't think I think it's basically there for more the gossip merchants than anything else, and I don't read it. I avoid press that have too much of that kind of articles in them.
Is it damaging, do you think?
I think it has to be. I think, well, having said that, I think at first it's damaging, but then it happens so much that people just start to ignore it. So.
Do you think we've probably reached a stage now, perhaps, where it's becoming all a little bit blasé and that, and people don't care?
Yeah, I think so. I don't care now. I mean, you get so much about the royal family and everything all the time, and it just basically people just think, oh, it's just another story, and it's just something that somebody else has just made up and may not have any, quantity of truth in it at all.
Would you tell me the most intimate of your secrets for a price? No matter how much I offered you?
No.
So what do you feel about the stories that you read in the papers, then?
Not much, really.
Do you read them?
No, not really. I don't pay any attention to them. It's personal business. It shouldn't be over the papers. It's between you and whoever else, so I don't think it should be on the papers.
Do you reckon it's gone too far?
Yeah, I think it has. When it's to the point where they're actually going into intimate detail, I think definitely. It's one thing saying, oh, I slept with so-and-so, but when you actually say, this is what we did and this is how we did it, it's another thing. I don't like that.
Blimey, after being in Maidenhead for a couple of hours, it makes you want to check the newspapers and find out if you're going to be in there or not. It seems that the People today will sell their story for next to nothing. I'm in this one.
I think Steve's secrets would be safe with the people of Maidenhead at least. Well, that's it for another week. Remember the Moving magazine and the September into October freebies coming up directly after the programme. And don't forget the Cable Corporation competition. And if you have anything you'd like to put on the Moving magazine or any suggestions for WMTV, you can write to us at Scene on 7, PO Box 7, Slough, SL3 6ET. And from everyone here at WMTV, thank you for watching the programme. We hope you've enjoyed the programme as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. I look forward to seeing you next week when we'll be bringing you a Scene on 7 special. Until then, take care.